Some people say that some dogs are so violent that their breeds should not exist. That may or may not be true, but there are cases when even regular dog breeds have gone crazy, and when an out-of-control dog attacks, it can be hard to stop. Any adult can face severe injury when trying to fend off an aggressive dog. But what about when the attack is on a child? The result can be death. Unless you have someone like little Bridger on your side. Bridger was only 6 when he would do the most heroic action of his young life, proving that heroes come in all ages and sizes. He would put himself in harm's way, risking his own young life to save his little sister. It was the summer of 2020 and a warm July in Wyoming, USA. School was finally over for Bridger and his 4-year-old sister, Brielle, who wanted to do what all children do in the summer, play. But what should have been an ordinary and uneventful experience would change their lives. On the morning of July 9th, the children went next door to play with a friend. As they stood together in the yard, they began to talk about the dogs in their neighborhood. There were several nice dogs that lived nearby. But there was a 1-year-old German Shepherd who was known to be quite aggressive. He barked whenever they went by and would often try to jump the fence. The children of the neighborhood called that dog a mean one. As the kids were looking and pointing, the German Shepherd that they were talking about suddenly showed up and began to run right towards them. He rushed to them before they knew what to do. One boy was able to run inside safely, but the dog reached the 4-year-old Brielle before she could move away far enough. It lunged with the intent to attack. With no way to protect his little sister, 6-year-old Bridger threw himself between them. The dog grabbed a hold of Bridger's cheek. As the dog bit down several times, Bridger yelled for his sister to run. The little boy kept moving between the dog and his sister, managing to keep her safe. The chaos outside alerted the dog owner, who came out and chased his dog, finally securing the German Shepherd back in its own yard. But what about little Bridger? The neighbor called 911 because Bridger was lying on the grass, covered in blood. His facial injuries were pretty severe. The little boy was left with a terrible gash on his face. It required a 2-hour surgery and 90 stitches to sew his cheek back. The entire time, Bridger remained brave. The only time he cried was when they had to put an IV into him. Why did the young boy do it? When his parents asked him, he said that he knew the dog would have killed his sister and that if someone had to die, he wanted it to be him. The owner of the German Shepherd that attacked wanted to put the dog to sleep. It was not the first time the dog had behaved aggressively, and it was no longer safe to have such an unpredictable dog in a neighborhood full of children. Anything could happen. If Bridger had not acted fast, the outcome would have been very different. But Bridger did not want the dog to be killed. After all, Bridger is a dog owner too. A few days later, when Bridger's aunt posted about her nephew's bravery, the story went viral, capturing the hearts of thousands. Strangers from all over the world were touched by Bridger's heroism. He received letters and gifts from people he did not know. But that's not all. Hollywood actors learned of his actions and reached out to Bridger. He got to meet or speak to many actors who have played superheroes, including Chris Evans and Tom Holland.
I'm going to send you an authentic Captain America shield because, pal, you deserve it.
While this made the family feel good, they worried if he would ever smile as beautifully as he once did. His face had been disfigured, and local doctors were pessimistic about Bridger's features recovering completely. They were certain he would have permanent scarring. But Bridger's story caught the interest of a brilliant dermatologist in New York who flew him out for treatment. Dr. Davol Bonosali treated Bridger with a few laser surgeries without charging a dime. He called it a great privilege to treat a young hero. But then the pandemic hit, and it was hard to go back out to New York. So Dr. Banasali connected Bridger to a specialist in Utah. Together, both doctors reduced his scarring, making him feel good about himself again. Finally, after many procedures, Bridger looks a lot like he used to. He still has a scar, but says it makes him feel proud of what he did for his sister. For his actions, Bridger also received many awards. One of the most memorable, perhaps, was from the World Boxing Council, who in 2022 gave him the title of Honorary Champion. He was also named Bravest Man in the World by the World Boxing Council and received their prestigious green and gold belt. To memorialize his heroic deed, they even created a new boxing weight class called the Bridger weight. Bridger Walker has truly done something no child can do. He saved a life at the young age of 6. For that, he is and will always be a true hero.